Yo, what's up, guys? Quick one today. We get asked a lot, what is the most bang for my buck I can do in terms of mobility? And we also have people come in that tell us what they're doing to try to improve their mobility, but it's not actually accomplishing that goal. Either it's just not a good use of time, it's actually counterproductive and not working on what you need to work on, or it just doesn't make any sense at all. And we kind of see all of those. And then we have some people that come in and it's like, dude, that's great. Keep doing what you're doing. So today I want to talk about what is about 5 to 10 minutes of work you can do several days per week to improve your mobility. That's going to give you the most efficient use of your time. When we're looking at mobility, the primary areas that we can hit that are going to do the most good are shoulders, hips, spine. So start on the inside and work your way out. So we want to start center of the body, working out. If we're talking about spine, the most important thing that a spine can do is segment, meaning we can control each vertebra one at a time. So we can effectively pass forces and create force across the spine, and the nervous system can communicate effectively with the tissue. The way that happens is when one bone can move next to the other bone, it moves these little cells in between that creates good communication into the system. So your nervous system's like, dope, that's cool, do this. And then it sends information back. And then we have a good exchange of information of what we want to happen and what is happening at the joint, all the way up and down the spine. And that's super important. So the most important piece of mobility is, can the nervous system communicate with the tissue, and can the tissue communicate with the nervous system? And what I'm going to show you today are the simplest, most effective movements that we can train to make that happen. So for spine, it's segmental, flexion, extension. For shoulders and hips, because they're a ball and socket joint, the most important piece is rotation. Starting off, for the spine, what we want is a segmented cat-cow. And everything has to be done under tension or it's not useful. For your segmented cat-cow, you go wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, and then go all the way into cat. And as you do that, make sure you don't push through your shoulders or pull through your shoulders. So your shoulders just kind of stay where they are. Get really rounded. And then you gotta create tension. So squeeze your belly like somebody's about to kick you in the stomach. Squeeze both butt cheeks, flex your quads, flex your hamstrings, flex your lats. And now think about tailbone to belly button, slowly moving into cow. And then once you get done with that movement, you're going from belly button up to the base of your shoulders, trying to move one vertebra at a time. And then from the base of the shoulders up to the top of the head. And now double check, are you still tight? Squeeze your belly, your butt, your quads, your hamstrings. And let's start at the tailbone, because that's the easiest spot to start. You're going to start tailbone to belly button, coming underneath back into cat. Belly button up to the base of your shoulders. Keep moving through there. Shoulders to the top of your head. And now you're all the way down. One more time. Belly, booty, quads, hamstrings, lats are all tight. Trying to send a wave up the spine one vertebra at a time. Nobody's on the same team, meaning each vertebra moves independently of the next one, and learning how to control that spine. If you have a sore back, if your back is perfectly healthy, it doesn't matter. Being able to segment the spine is the most important quality. If you're super mobile, super tight, you still need to train this movement, preferably daily, but at least several days per week. That's the most efficient spine mobility thing I can give you. Now let's talk about shoulders. Shoulders are a ball and socket joint, and we still need the nervous system to communicate effectively with the tissue, and the tissue to communicate effectively to the nervous system. The best way to do that is with rotational movements if we're talking about a ball and socket joint, such as the shoulder. The two that I like the best are, I like to do things loaded as long as you're not in a lot of pain. If you're in a lot of pain, we just do it unloaded and figure out how to do it without creating pain. So don't hurt yourself while you're doing this. But dumbbell internal rotation is you grab a light dumbbell and then don't let your shoulder round forward. Don't pin it way back. Just keep it where it's at, kind of right in the middle. And now flex your arm, flexing everything, and then you just rotate down as far as you can. The shoulder stays there. So at the bottom, it's not rounding forward so I can get more. I'm just keeping it where it was, coming back up, and rotate back as far as you can. You'll feel stuff in the back of your shoulder. So I'm coming down here as low as I can, feel a little stretch in the shoulder here, make sure it doesn't round forward, bring it back up, making sure I'm not shrugging or moving that shoulder. I'm just rotating my upper arm, which is the ball. I'm rotating the ball inside the socket, making sure nothing else moves. This is a dumbbell internal rotation. I like this loaded because if you do things with tension, you get the nervous system involved. If there's no tension and we're just doing this, the nervous system isn't involved in a powerful enough way to drive any sort of change. So load it. That's internal rotation of the shoulder. There are two qualities for rotation, internal and external. External rotation, same game. I'm going to take my elbow and pin it in my ribs, laying down with your head flat, and then flex your arm, and we rotate out as far as we possibly can, keeping our elbow at about 90 degrees, rotating right back up, and then come across, out as far as you can, coming back up. And right here, we're working external rotation. If you're too tight and you can only get your arm to about here, it's not that effective. So you can turn to your side a bit and use a little bit more gravity so that you're actually getting into that position. And again, having that be loaded is money. So dumbbell internal rotation here, dumbbell external rotation there for the shoulders. For our hips, it's the same thing, just a little bit different application because loading the hips is a bit different. So what I've got here is a band. I'm going to lay down flat on my back, and then I'm letting the band pull me to internal rotation. The reason this is internal rotation is we're talking about what the ball is doing inside the socket. The ball's rotating in, and then you're laying flat here. Knee stays right where it's at. Rotate across as far as you can. Rotate the other way. So we're really squeezing across, making sure the body stays perfectly still. I'm squeezing my belly, squeezing my butt, getting those rotations here. So this is an external rotation of the hip, and we're loading it with a band, making sure nothing else moves. With all of these, we're just moving the joint we're trying to train. And then switch on the other side, and you've got, what's up, cat? And you've got, squeeze your butt, your knees over top your hips, rotate out as far as you can, come back across. So now we're loading internal rotation, and we're repping this out. Make sure you squeeze your butt the whole time. No matter what you're doing with the hips, you should always be squeezing your butt. That's super important. Always be squeezing your belly. So our most efficient mobility movements: dumbbell internal rotation, dumbbell external rotation, lying banded hip axial rotation, internal and external, and then segmented cat-cow. All those movements are done under tension. And the way I have people do this, just so they're touching it pretty much daily, is we choose either shoulders, hips, or spine as part of the warm-up every workout. So we'll do a minute of banded hip rotation, all four directions. So internal, external, flip over, internal, external. We'll do up to a minute of dumbbell internal rotation, dumbbell external rotation, and up to a minute of spine segmentation. It can be in the warm-up. It can be in between heavy lifts. So if you're doing heavy back squat, then it makes sense to drop down, work your shoulder internal rotation while you're resting between sets. Same thing, doing a heavy upper body movement. Let's do a little bit of volume, time under tension with your bands. If you have any more questions, comments, concerns, drop a comment. But thanks for checking it out.